Good morning, class. How are we today? Good. What we're going to be doing today is going over what we learned last Friday about fractions and putting them in order with the same denominator. And then later in class we're going to go over putting fractions in order with different denominators. So I'm going to put three different fractions with the same denominator on the board. And I want someone to tell me how to put these three in order from least to greatest. Johnny? Yes, correct. Then what? Yep. And then 6/8. Good job. Now I'm going to put another one that's a little more challenging with the same denominator. Okay, who can do this one? Rose, go ahead. Good job. Yep. And yes, good job. We'll do one more. I just want to see if we got a hang of this. Here we go. Alright, this time I want someone to put it from greatest to least. Go ahead, Susie. Yep.
2 minutes.
Okay. Good job. Good job. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put fractions in order from least to greatest or greatest to least with different denominators. So I'm going to show you 3/4, 1/2, and 5/8. So we can't put these in order yet because we don't have the same denominator. So what we want to do is we want to get the denominators to all be the same. And what you do is you pick the fraction with the biggest denominator and you get the other two fractions to get equal to that last denominator. So what you do is you take 3/4 and you're gonna times 4 to make it equal 8. So we're gonna use 2 because 4 times 2 equals 8. And what you do on the bottom you have to do on top. So then you do 3 times 2 as well. And 3 times 2 is what? 6. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So 3/4 equals 6/8. And then what we do with half is the same thing. We need to get 2 to equal 8. So what times 2 equals 8? Yes, 4. And then we have to do what we did on bottom on top. So 4 times 1 is what? Yep, good job. And 2 times 4 is 8. So 1/2 equals 4/8. So now what we have is 4/8, 6/8, and 5/8. So can someone put that in order from greatest to least?
2 minutes.
Johnny? Okay. Yep, 6/8. 5/8. Yep. And 4/8. Good job. We're going to do one more problem so you guys get the hang of it. And then after this problem, I'm going to do a worksheet on these kinds of fractions. So 3/5, 7/10, and 6/12. So what we're going to have to do is get them to all have the same denominator. since 5 doesn't go into 12, we can't really find a denominator by doing 5. We can't change the denominator to 12 because 5 times nothing equals 12. So what we have to do is find the least common denominator, it's called. And you find the multiples of each denominator, and then once you find a common denominator by all of these, with all these, you multiply that denominator by the top as well. So 5 has multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So this is 5. Okay, so now we're going to do multiples of 10. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. And then we're going to do multiples of 12. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, and that's enough. So what we're going to do is we have to find what a multiple that's all of these numbers have. So what number is that? Yep, 60. So we have to use the denominator of 60 for all of these fractions. So what we have to do is we have to find what 60 divided by 5 is, so we can, what that answer equals, we have to multiply 3 by. So what times 5 is 60? 12. Okay, good job. So then you do 3 times 12, which is 36, and then 3/5 equals 36 over 60. Now 7/10, we're gonna find what times 10 equals 60. So what times 10 equals 60? Yep, 6. And then we have to do 7 times 6 as well. And what's 7 times 6? Yes. Good job, 42. Now we have to find 6/12. So what times 12 equals 60? Yep, 5. So then we have to do 6 times 5, which equals 30. So this fraction equals 30 over 60. Now we have the same common denominator, so we can put these from least to greatest, which is 30 over 60, 36 over 60, 42 over 60. And then we could use these fractions, because we have the fractions that equal that, so that we put these in order using these. And 6/12 is first, then it's 3/5, and then 7/10. So that's how we find it if we can't multiply the other two denominators to the greatest denominator. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break up into groups, and we're going to do a worksheet on these kind of problems, listing fractions from greatest to least or least to greatest with different denominators. So break up into groups of 3 and start the worksheet that I pass out. Okay. Alright class, is everyone done with their worksheets? Alright, well it looks like we're running out of time in class, so what we're going to do is, tomorrow we're going to go over the worksheet, and then after the worksheet we're going to have a little quiz over what we learned today. And tonight we're going to have homework in the textbook on page 33, numbers 1 through 10, and numbers 26 through 30. So make sure you do those problems to get some practice for the quiz tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow.